Have you ever felt trapped, caught in a loop of thoughts, emotions, or habits you just can't seem to escape? Life at times feels like a vast maze, where we wander endlessly, searching for a way out. We chase answers in the noise of the world, in the chaos of our daily lives. But what told you the solution isn't out there? What if the key to breaking free lies in the silent depths of your own soul? Imagine this. Within you exists a space of calm, clarity, and strength, a place where the answers you've been searching for are quietly waiting to be discovered. In this video, we'll journey into that silence, guided by profound philosophies and real-life stories that have the power to shift your perspective and transform your life. This isn't just another motivational talk. It's a call to action, a chance to pause, reflect, and rediscover your true self. Because sometimes the smallest idea, the simplest moment of clarity, can unlock the door to a better, stronger version of you. So, stay with me. Let's explore the wisdom that can help you take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your life. By the end of this video, you may just find that the maze you thought you were stuck in was never as complicated as it seemed. 1. Trust issues. Trust's such a simple word, yet it holds the weight of worlds. It is the invisible thread that binds hearts, the foundation upon which relationships are built. But trust is fragile, like a delicate vase. Once cracked, even the most skillful repair cannot erase the scars. It is in these fractures that doubt seeps in, creating a silent struggle within us, one that shapes how we view others and, more profoundly, how we view ourselves. Betrayal is perhaps one of the most devastating experiences a person can endure. It is not merely the breaking of a promise or the failure of someone to meet our expectations. It is the shattering of an unspoken bond. Imagine confiding your deepest fears, your most fragile hopes, to someone you believed would guard them as sacred. And then, one day, you discover those sacred pieces of yourself exposed, twisted, or used against you. The pain of betrayal is not just in the act itself, but in the echo it leaves behind, a lingering doubt that whispers, "Can I ever trust again?" The aftermath of betrayal is not just emotional, it is deeply psychological. It reshapes the way we interact with the world. We become cautious, guarded, and at times even cynical. Every smile feels suspicious. Every promise seems hollow. And every new connection is shadowed by the fear of history repeating itself. This silent erosion of trust doesn't just affect how we see others, it distorts how we see ourselves. Questions haunt us. Why didn't I see this coming? Was I too naive? Am I incapable of judging others accurately? These thoughts can be paralyzing, locking us in a prison of self-doubt. And so, we withdraw not out of indifference, but out of fear. Fear of being hurt again. Fear of misjudging. Fear of opening ourselves up to vulnerability only to have it weaponized against us. But here's the paradox. While we crave connection, we simultaneously fear it. We long for relationships that are genuine, built on mutual respect and understanding. Yet, the scars of betrayal make us hesitant, leaving us stranded in a silent battle between our desire for closeness and our instinct for self-protection. Here, Stoic philosophy offers a profound and practical path forward. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our response to them. As Epictetus wisely observed, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things. It is not the betrayal itself that chains use it, is the meaning we assign to it. To rebuild trust, we must first turn inward. This is not about blaming ourselves for the actions of others, but about reclaiming our power. The Stoics remind us that our worth is not diminished by someone else's betrayal. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed." This wisdom invites us to see betrayal not as a reflection of our inadequacy, but as a lesson in discernment. Rebuilding trust begins with small, intentional steps. Consider the story of John, a man who had been deeply hurt in a past relationship. For years, he avoided opening up to Anione, fearing that vulnerability would lead to more pain. But one day, he decided to take a risk. He started small-sharing a little, observing how it was received, and gradually increasing his openness as trust developed. Over time, he discovered that while the risk of betrayal remained, the rewards of genuine connection far outweighed the fear. This process requires patience, both with ourselves and with others. Trust cannot be rushed. It must be nurtured. Start by identifying those who have consistently shown kindness, respect, and integrity. Share selectively and observe how your trust is handled. Each positive experience becomes a building block, gradually replacing the fear and doubt left by past wounds. It is also crucial to recognize that not everyone is deserving of our trust. And that's okay. As Seneca wisely noted, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Trust is not about blind faith. It is about discernment. By carefully choosing who we allow into our inner circle, we protect our peace while still leaving room for meaningful relationships. Rebuilding trust is not about erasing the scars of betrayal, it's about finding strength in them. Each scar tells a story of resilience, of lessons learned, and of the courage it takes to open your heart again. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a testament to your humanity. To trust again is to choose hope over fear, connection over isolation, and growth over stagnation. So, the next time you feel the weight of mistrust creeping in, Pennsylvania, USA, and reflect. Ask yourself, am I letting the actions of others dictate my ability to connect? What small step can I take today to rebuild trust both in myself and in others? Remember, trust, like any other virtue, is a practice. It is a journey, not a destination. And while the road may be fraught with challenges, it is also paved with the possibility of deep, richer connections. As you walk this path, let the wisdom of the Stoics be your guide, reminding you that while the world may be unpredictable, your inner strength is unshakable. 2. Low self-esteem. There is a voice that lives within each of us. For some, it is a source of encouragement, a quiet whisper that says, "You are capable, you are enough." But for others, this voice is a relentless critic, a silent presence that casts shadows over every thought, every action, and every word. This is the voice of low self-esteem, and its whispers can feel louder than the world around you. Low self-esteem is not always visible to the outside world. It often hides beneath a mask of composure, behind polished smiles and carefully chosen words. Outwardly, you may appear confident, but inside, there's a storm brewing, a storm of self-doubt, fear, and insecurity. Every social interaction feels like a test. Every word spoken feels like it carries the weight of judgment. You replay conversations in your mind, dissecting every pause, every glance, every moment of silence. Did I sound foolish? Did they notice my awkwardness? Do they think less of me? This constant over-analysis becomes exhausting. It creates a cycle of withdrawal. You begin to avoid situations where you might feel exposed, where the fear of being judged outweighs the potential for connection. Isolation becomes a refuge, but it is a lonely one. And yet, the voice of self-doubt persists, growing louder in the silence. You're not good enough. You'll never belong. What makes low self-esteem so insidious is that it isn't always rooted in reality. It is a narrative we tell ourselves, a story crafted by past experiences, perceived failures, and fears of rejection. It thrives in the quiet moments when we are left alone with our thoughts. And the longer it goes unchecked, the more it distorts our perception of the world and our place in it. I imagine a person named Elena. Outwardly, she is accomplished, respected at work, admired by her peers. But inside, she battles a silent war. After every meeting, she questions whether her contributions were valuable. At social gatherings, she hesitates to speak, fearing her words will be dismissed or misunderstood. Her mind replays these moments endlessly, amplifying her insecurities and convincing her that she doesn't belong. Over time, she begins to withdraw, not because she doesn't want connection, but because she fears the vulnerability it requires. This struggle is not unique to Elena. It is a shared human experience, one that leaves many feeling trapped in a cycle of self-criticism and isolation. But what if the problem isn't the world around us, but the way we perceive ourselves? What if the silent critic within us is not a voice of truth, but a voice of fear? Here, Stoic philosophy offers a profound and practical path to liberation. The Stoics understood that our greatest struggles are often not with the external world, but with the stories we tell ourselves. Epictetus reminds us, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things." The pain of low self-esteem is not caused by the judgments of others, but by the judgments we impose on ourselves. The first step to breaking free from the grip of self-doubt is to recognize that these thoughts are not facts, they are interpretations. When the silent critic tells you, "You're not good enough," pause and question it. Ask yourself, is this true, Or is this just fear speaking? By challenging these thoughts, you begin to weaken their power. Next, take small, brave steps outside your comfort zone. Confidence is not built in a single leap. It is built through consistent action. Start with something simply: a conversation with a colleague, a compliment to a stranger, a moment of eye contact during a meeting. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory over the voice of self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Consider Elena's story again. One day she decided to challenge her inner critic. Instead of replaying every perceived mistake, she chose to focus on what went well. She began to keep a journal, writing down moments of success, however small. Over time, she noticed a shift. Her self-doubt didn't disappear overnight, but it grew quieter. And in its place, a new voice emerged, the voice of self-compassion and resilience. Self-esteem is not about silencing the critic entirely. It is about learning to coexist with it. It is about recognizing that your worth is not defined by the judgments of others, nor by the mistakes you've made, but by the courage you show in the face of fear. As Seneca wisely said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Low self-esteem is not a life sentence. It is a challenge, yes, but also an opportunity, a call to grow, to reflect, and to rewrite the narrative of your life. The journey begins with self-awareness, with the courage to face the silent critic and say, "You do not define me." It continues with small acts of bravery, with moments of vulnerability that remind you of your strength. As you walk this path, remember that you are not alone. The struggle with self-doubt is a universal one, but so is the capacity for growth. Let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you, reminding you that your worth is inherent, your potential is limitless, and your story is still being written. So, the next time the silent critic whispers in your ear, Pennsylvania, US, and listen, but do not let it dictate your path. Instead, respond with compassion, with courage, and with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are enough. 3. Social anxiety. There is a unique kind of fear that doesn't roar but whispers, a silent battle fought within the confines of the mind. Social anxiety is not mere shyness. It is a profound psychological struggle where every interaction feels like stepping into a battlefield with judgment, insecurity, and fear as your adversaries. For those who endure it, even the simplest exchanges, a greeting, a handshake, a casual conversation, can feel like insurmountable challenges. Social anxiety often begins subtly, like a faint shadow creeping into your thoughts. Perhaps it stems from a moment in the past time when you felt embarrassed, judged, or rejected. These experiences, though fleeting to others, leave lasting marks on your psyche. Over time, they shape the way you perceive yourself and the world around you, creating an invisible barrier between you and those you wish to connect with. Imagine this. You're at a gathering, surrounded by people who seem effortlessly engaged in conversation. You want to join in, but your mind races. What if I say the wrong thing? What if they think I'm awkward? What if they don't like me? Asterisk. These thoughts spiral, paralyzing you before you even take a step forward. And so, you retreat not because you don't want connection, but because the fear of rejection feels too overwhelming. Avoidance becomes your shield, offering temporary relief from the discomfort. But as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, this avoidance breeds something far more painful: loneliness. The very connections you long for feel further out of reach, and the silent voice of anxiety grows louder, convincing you that you're better off alone. The true pain of social anxiety lies in its self-perpetuating nature. The more you avoid interactions, the more disconnected you feel. And the more disconnected you feel, the harder it becomes to step back into the world. It's a vicious cycle, one that leaves you feeling trapped, longing for connection, but too afraid to reach for it. This struggle is not just emotional, it's physical. Social anxiety manifests in racing hearts, trembling hands, and shallow breaths. Your body reacts as though it's facing a real threat, even though the danger exists only in your mind. And after every interaction, the inner critic takes over, dissecting every word, every glance, every silence. Did I sound stupid? Did they notice my nervousness? Did I embarrass myself? Asterisk. The weight of these thoughts is exhausting. It drains your energy, your confidence, and your sense of self-worth. Over time, you may begin to believe the lies anxiety tells you, that you're not good enough, that you don't belong, that you'll never be able to connect with others. But these are just that, lies, and they can be challenged. Here, Stoic philosophy offers a guiding light. The Stoics understood that much of our suffering comes not from external events, but from the way we interpret them. As Epictetus famously said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things. Social anxiety thrives on distorted perceptions of yourself, of others, and of the world. But these perceptions can be re-examined and reframed. The first step is to view past experiences not as chains that bind you, but as lessons that can guide you. Yes, you may have faced rejection or embarrassment before, but those moments do not define you. They are merely stepping stones on the path to growth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Next, take gradual steps to confront your fears. Confidence is not built overnight. It is forged through small, Colorado-insistent actions. Start with low-risk interactions, a simple hello, a brief conversation, or a smile at a stranger. Each small victory chips away at the power of anxiety, proving to yourself that you are capable of connection. Self-compassion is also key. The Stoics teach us to treat ourselves with kindness, to recognize that imperfection is part of being human. Instead of criticizing yourself for feeling anxious, acknowledge your courage in facing it. Remember, bravery is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite it. Finally, seek support. Whether it's a trusted friend, a therapist, or a supportive community, sharing your struggles can lighten the burden. You are not alone in this journey. Many have walked this path before you, and their stories can inspire and guide you. Social anxiety may feel like an insurmountable mountain, but it is not. It is a challenge, yes, but also an opportunity call to grow stronger, to become more resilient, to discover the depths of your courage. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control the judgments of others, we can control how we respond to them, and in doing so, we reclaim our power. So, the next time you feel the weight of anxiety pressing down on you, Pennsylvania, US, and reflect. Ask yourself, what is within my control in this moment? What small step can I take to move forward? And most importantly, remind yourself that you are more than your fears. You are capable of connection, of growth, of transformation. Let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you, reminding you that the silent battle of social anxiety is not one you fight alone. It is a journey towards self-awareness, self-compassion, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are enough. Take the first step, however small, and trust that the path will unfold before you. 4. Spending time with the wrong people. There is a quiet truth that shapes the course of our lives, one we often overlook. The people we surround ourselves with have the power to either elevate us or erode us. Relationships are not merely connections, they are mirrors, reflecting back the energy we allow into our lives. Yet, how often do we find ourselves entangled in relationships that drain US relationships that leave us feeling small, unworthy, or unseen? This silent thief, the act of spending time with the wrong people, is one of the most profound sources of discomfort and anxiety. Imagine this. You're sitting in a room with someone who constantly criticizes, dismisses, or belittles you. Their words may seem harmless on the surface, disguised as jokes or constructive criticism, but over time, they chip away at your self-esteem. You leave these interactions feeling heavier, as though a piece of your energy has been stolen. This is the reality of toxic relationships. They may not always appear harmful at first glance, but their cumulative effect is devastating. Being around the wrong people doesn't just drain your energy, it distorts your sense of self. You begin to question your worth, your abilities, and even your dreams. Their negativity becomes a silent background noise in your mind, influencing how you see the world and yourself. And yet, many of us stay in these relationships, often out of obligation, fear of loneliness, or the hope that things will somehow improve. But the truth is, staying in such environments comes at a cost far greater than we realize. The toll of spending time with toxic or UN-supportive individuals is not just emotional, it's spiritual. You may find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, second-guessing your words, or suppressing your true self to avoid conflict or judgment. Over time, this erodes your confidence and leaves you feeling disconnected not just from others, but from yourself. Take James, for example. James was part of a friend group where sarcasm and mockery were the norm. Every time he shared an idea or expressed vulnerability, he was met with laughter or dismissive comments. At first, he brushed it off, telling himself it was just their way of joking. But as the months passed, he noticed a change in himself. He stopped sharing his thoughts, began doubting his abilities, and dreaded every interaction with them. What James didn't realize was that their behavior was shaping his inner dialogue, turning his once confident voice into a silent whisper of self-doubt. This is the power of the wrong company. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's the subtle erosion of your spirit, the quiet feeling that you're not enough. And the longer you stay in these relationships, the harder it becomes to see the damage they're causing. Here, the wisdom of Stoic philosophy offers a guiding light. The Stoics understood the profound impact of relationships on our well-being. Epictetus advised, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This is not just a call to avoid toxic people. It's an invitation to be intentional about the energy you allow into your life. The first step to breaking free from toxic relationships is to embrace solitude not as a punishment, but as a refuge. Solitude, when intentional, is a space for reflection and renewal. It is in these silent moments that we reconnect with ourselves, rediscovering our values, dreams, and inner strength. Seneca reminds us, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." And if such people are not yet present in your life, solitude becomes the bridge to finding them. Next, set boundaries. Protecting your mental and emotional well-being requires courage, but it is an act of self-respect. Politely but firmly distance yourself from individuals who drain your energy or undermine your growth. This doesn't mean you have to sever ties abruptly. Sometimes it's as simple as limiting interactions or reframing the dynamics of the relationship. Finally, seek out connections that inspire and uplift you. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, who celebrate your successes without envy, and who challenge you to become the best version of yourself. These relationships are not just beneficial, they are transformative. They remind you of your worth and help you see the world through a lens of possibility rather than limitation. Spending time with the wrong people is like carrying a weight that was never yours to bear. It slows you down, dims your light, and keeps you from reaching your full potential. But the beauty of life is that you have the power to cultivate, choose solitude over toxicity, growth over stagnation, and joy over obligation. So, take a moment to reflect. Who in your life uplifts you? Who drains you? And what steps can you take today to protect your energy and nurture your soul? Remember, your time and presence are precious gifts. Not everyone deserves them. As you embark on this journey of self-improvement, let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you. Choose relationships that align with your values, that inspire you to grow, and that bring peace to your soul. And when in doubt, embrace the silent strength of solitude, knowing that it is in these quiet moments that you will find clarity, Colorado Urge, and the path to a more fulfilling life. 5. Being an introvert. There is a quiet strength in those who thrive in solitude, a strength that is often misunderstood in a world that celebrates noise, extroversion, and constant connection. Introverts, by their very nature, find solace in the silent spaces between life's chaos. They are not antisocial, nor are they shy in the way many assume. Instead, They are individuals who draw their energy from within, cherishing moments of reflection, creativity, and meaningful connection. But in a society that often equates success with visibility and interaction, being an introvert can sometimes feel like a challenge, as though the world demands more than they are willing to give. For introverts, the world can often feel overwhelming. Social gatherings, endless small talk, and environments filled with noise and stimulation can drain their energy, leaving them longing for the sanctuary of quiet. Imagine an introvert named Sarah. She attends a bustling networking event where the room buzzes with conversation and laughter. While others seem to thrive in the energy of the crowd, Sarah feels herself retreating inward, her thoughts becoming louder than the voices around her. She wonders if something is wrong with her. Why can't I enjoy these moments like everyone else? Asterisk. This misunderstanding of introversion creates an internal conflict. Society often glorifies extroverted traits, charisma, sociability, and the ability to command attention. Introverts, by contrast, are sometimes seen as aloof, disinterested, or even weak. This perception can lead to feelings of inadequacy, as though their natural tendencies are flaws that need to be fixed. The struggle doesn't end there. When introverts are pushed to conform to extroverted ideals, they risk losing touch with their true selves. They may overextend in an effort to fit in, saying yes to every invitation, every meeting, every interaction, only to find themselves emotionally exhausted and disconnected from their inner world. In this state, the very thing that makes them unique, their ability to reflect, to create, to connect deeply, is overshadowed by the noise of external expectations. The pressure to conform to a world designed for extroverts can feel like a constant weight. Introverts may feel as though they are swimming against the current, trying to keep up with a pace that doesn't align with their nature. This dissonance often leads to self-doubt. Questions arise: am I too quiet? Am I missing out on life? Should I try harder to be more outgoing? Asterisk. But this pressure is not just external, it becomes internalized. The silent critic within begins to whisper, "You're not enough as you are." This narrative can erode self-esteem and create a sense of isolation, as introverts struggle to reconcile who they are with who they think they should be. Yet, what if this perceived weakness is actually a strength? What if the silent spaces introverts cherish are not a retreat from life, but a gateway to deeper understanding, creativity, and purpose? Here, Stoic philosophy offers profound guidance. The Stoics believed in aligning with one's nature, finding harmony within oneself, rather than seeking validation from the outside world. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." For introverts, this wisdom is a reminder that their preference for solitude is not a flaw, but a strength, a place where they can recharge, reflect, and create. Solitude, when embraced intentionally, becomes a wellspring of growth. History is rich with stories of introverts who found their greatest strength in quiet reflection. Consider Haruki Murakami, the celebrated author, who spends hours running and writing in solitude, crafting worlds that captivate millions. Or Emily Dickinson, whose reclusive life allowed her to create poetry that resonates with profound depth and emotion. These individuals did not view their solitude as a limitation. They saw it as an opportunity to connect with their inner selves and bring something meaningful into the world. For introverts, the key is to honor their need for quiet while also seeking balance. This begins with setting boundaries, learning to say no to activities or interactions that drain their energy. Instead of forcing themselves into situations that feel unnatural, they can focus on nurturing relationships that are meaningful and fulfilling. As Epictetus advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Additionally, introverts can use their time in solitude to cultivate creativity and self-awareness. Whether it's through journaling, painting, reading, or simply sitting in stillness, these moments of quiet allow them to process their thoughts, recharge their energy, and gain clarity about their goals and values. Finally, introverts must learn to reframe their narrative. Instead of seeing their quiet nature as a limitation, they can view it as a unique gift. Their ability to listen deeply, to observe keenly, and to connect authentically is a rare strength in a world that often prioritizes volume over substance. Being an introvert is not about retreating from the world, it's about engaging with it on your own terms. It's about recognizing that silence is not emptiness, but fullness, a space where ideas bloom, where self-awareness grows, and where true connection begins. So, if you are an introvert, take heart. The world may be loud, but your strength lies in the silent spaces you cherish. Embrace your nature, honor your need for solitude, and trust that your quiet power can create ripples far greater than the noise around you. As you walk this path, let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you, reminding you that your worth is not measured by how much you speak, but by the depth of what you offer. In the end, the journey of an introvert is not about becoming looder, it's about becoming truer. True to yourself, true to your values, and true to the quiet strength that lies within. In the end, the journey to self-discovery and transformation begins with a single step: the courage to pause, reflect, and embrace the silence within. Life's challenges may feel like an endless maze, but the answers you seek are closer than you think, waiting in the quiet corners of your own mind and soul. If this video resonated with you, don't let the journey stop here. Take what you've learned today and apply it to your life. Reflect on the stories, the philosophies, and the lessons, and use them to unlock the best version of yourself. And if you're ready to dive deeper into more ideas that inspire, empower, and transform, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of growth. Together, let's keep exploring the wisdom that can change our lives and thought, one action, one step at a time.